10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Michael Voss, the Dragon of the Southern Tier, and I'm happy to be here with you on No Soundbites Allowed. I just want to take a quick moment here. I'm getting ready to go to work, but I've been watching the Mueller report of the Obstruction of Justice investigation in the House Judiciary Committee today on July 24th. It is ongoing and live at this moment that this is being recorded. But there was something that struck me that was very important. Something that was said early on, and I don't know if a lot of people will be paying attention to it. It is the comments by Representative John Rattcliffe. And I think it's the heart of everything we're seeing in the Mueller report right now. So I want to share that with you because there is one essential theme that needs to be remembered throughout this entire process. And I want everyone to be able to see this and to understand it because I want to get into it really quickly. Okay? And that is this.
Because the bedrock principle of our justice system is a presumption of innocence. It exists for everyone. Everyone is entitled to it, including sitting presidents. And because there is a presumption of innocence, prosecutors never, ever need to conclusively determine it. Now, Director, the special counsel applied this.
Now, I just want to stop right there for a second, because he just made something that was very clear. And I do want to play everything that the representative did mention. Oops, sorry. Oops. I want to go over everything that he did say, because I think it's very important for us to understand what's going on here. Okay, and I'm getting this set so that we can play everything that he said.
I read that correctly?
And oops.
My colleagues.
Hang on. Sorry. So, what Representative Rattcliffe was saying just there is a presumption of innocence. That presumption of innocence applies to everyone in the United States. You cannot be exonerated from something you have not done. Okay? You can't. I didn't rob a bank today. I don't need to be exonerated for not robbing a bank today. That's just simple. It's direct. It's honest. It's absolute. You do not need to be proven innocent of a non-crime. If you have not committed a crime, you don't have to prove your innocence. That's what we're seeing Democrats today, that the obstruction of justice investigation in the House Judiciary Committee, that's what it's about today. They are trying to imply that a sitting president, any sitting president by precedence, must prove themselves innocent beyond a shadow of doubt of not committing a crime. That is dangerous. That is a horrible legal precedent that has a massive impact to everyone in this nation, because it's almost impossible to prove you didn't do something that wasn't a crime. I understand many of the Democrats who are on in the meeting right now in the Judiciary Committee, many of the Democrats have strong emotions. They feel like they are right. They are like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. They believe and they feel that they have the moral standing here, except they don't. It doesn't exist. As we just heard from Representative John Rattcliffe, there is no underlying crime. There is no need to prove innocence because there is no crime. As Mueller's report has determined, which is not in question, his report did not file charges. There is no crime, period. That's it. You can argue everything else you want to argue about this, but at the end of the day, the very simple fact is there were no charges, there is no crime, there is no need to prove innocence because it is understood. It is a fact. It may not be the feelings, but it is a fact. And a fact is law. Okay? The fact of law is innocent, period. Stop. There is no further process. If you or I were convicted or someone wanted to convict you of jaywalking, but you did not jaywalk, no crime has been committed, no punishment can be therefore put on you because there is no crime. And you don't have to prove you didn't jaywalk. Doesn't matter. There is no crime. You don't need to prove that. You are, by law, innocent. We need to understand that, because this obstruction of justice investigation means, by precedent, if it continues, that you can be charged for crimes. This falls into the red flag laws, quite honestly, where the presumption, where due process and the presumption of innocence is denied American citizens. Let's consider that. What we're seeing with the red flag laws is you have committed no crime, and yet you are being punished by law by having your property taken, your privacy invaded. You can have your children taken away from you because someone alleges they think you're a danger. Because of their feeling and their opinion, they can therefore take your property. And this is a punishment in the same way that the obstruction of justice investigation that is ongoing right now in Congress is having the same problem. No crime has been committed. Punishment is desired by a small group of individuals who feel morally superior and are using their feelings in the place of law. This issue should not be moving forward. This is done. And whether or not Democrats like that is entirely irrelevant to the fact that it is law. And if we change that, every American citizen will be at risk. Because on some day, on some issue, any American citizen can be tried in this same manner. Prove you're innocent. If I call Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez a racist, and I want her removed from office because I claim she's a racist, if I have no evidence of that, then according to the process being put forth by Democrats right now, it doesn't matter. She has to prove the innocence, even though if I have no evidence, it would still need to be proven. She has to prove her innocence, which is insane. No one has that burden of proof anywhere in the world outside of kangaroo courts. And this is dangerous. But let me just play the full comments by Representative John Rattcliffe so you have full context of what I'm talking about here. So let's go right over to it. It's starting, don't worry. Oops, my fault.
Conspired or coordinated with the Russian government. Morning, you said in volume 1 on the issue of...
There it is. Sorry, I had the volume off for a second.
Good morning, Director. If you'll let me quickly summarize your opening statement this morning. You said in volume 1 on the issue of conspiracy, the special counsel determined that the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired or coordinated with the Russian government in its election interference activities. And then in volume 2, for reasons that you explained, the special counsel did not make a determination on whether there was an obstruction of justice crime committed by the president. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, in explaining that special counsel did not make what you called a traditional prosecution or declination decision, the report on the bottom of page 2 of volume 2 reads as follows. The evidence we obtained about the president's actions and intent presents difficult issues that prevent us from conclusively determining that no criminal conduct occurred. Accordingly, while this report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him. Now, I read that correctly?
Yes.
All right. Now, your report, and today you said at all times the special counsel team operated under, was guided by, and followed Justice Department policies and principles. So which DOJ policy or principle sets forth a legal standard that an investigated person is not exonerated if their innocence from criminal conduct is not conclusively determined?
Can you repeat the last part of that question?
Yeah. which DOJ policy or principle set forth a legal standard that an investigated person is not exonerated if their innocence from criminal conduct is not conclusively determined? Where does that language come from, Director? Where is the DOJ policy that says that? Can you, let me make it easier.
Go ahead.
Can you give me an example other than Donald Trump where the Justice Department determined that an investigated person was not exonerated because their innocence was not conclusively determined?
I cannot, but this is a unique situation.
Okay, well, you can't. Time is short. I've got 5 minutes. Let's just leave it at you can't find it, because I'll tell you why. It doesn't exist. The special counsel's job, nowhere does it say that you were to conclusively determine Donald Trump's innocence or that the special counsel report should determine whether or not to exonerate him. It's not in any of the documents. It's not in your appointment order. It's not in the special counsel regulations. It's not in the OLC opinions. It's not in the Justice Manual, and it's not in the principles of federal prosecution. Nowhere do those words appear together, because respectfully, Director, it was not the special counsel's job to conclusively determine Donald Trump's innocence or to exonerate him, because the bedrock principle of our justice system is a presumption of innocence. It exists for everyone. Everyone is entitled to it, including sitting presidents. And because there is a presumption of innocence, prosecutors never, ever need to conclusively determine it. Now, Director, the special counsel applied this inverted burden of proof that I can't find, and you said doesn't exist anywhere in the department policies, and you used it to write a report. And the very first line of your report, says, and as you read this morning, it authorizes the special counsel to provide the Attorney General with a confidential report explaining the prosecution or declination decisions reached by the special counsel. That's the very first word of your report, right?
That's correct.
Here's the problem, Director. The special counsel didn't do that. On volume 1, you did. On volume 2, with respect to potential obstruction of justice, the special counsel made neither a prosecution decision or a declination decision. You made no decision. You told us this morning and in your report that you made no determination. So respectfully, Director, you didn't follow the special counsel regulations. It clearly says, write a confidential report about decisions reached. Nowhere in here does it say, write a report about decisions that weren't reached. You wrote 180 pages about decisions that weren't reached, about potential crimes that weren't charged or decided. And respectfully, by doing that, you managed to violate every principle and the most sacred of traditions about prosecutors not offering extra prosecutorial analysis about potential crimes that aren't charged. So Americans need to know this as they listen to the Democrats and socialists on the other side of the aisle, as they do dramatic readings from this report, that volume 2 of this report was not authorized under the law to be written. It was written to a legal standard that does not exist at the Justice Department. And it was written in violation of every DOJ principle about extra prosecutorial commentary. I agree with the chairman this morning when he said Donald Trump is not above the law. He's not. But he damn sure shouldn't be below the law, which is where volume 2 of this report puts him.
All right, then. I think it makes it very clear. And I think he's incredibly passionate and correct in what he is saying here, because the ramifications of what we're talking about are insanely important. Insanely important. Okay? And I'm trying to find a moment here, because I want you to understand there is a very clear moment in this video, and I want you to see this. Hang on. It's coming up right here, and I want you to see something. Watch the video for a second. I have the volume off. Watch what's going to happen. Do you see that woman as she's shaking her head? Oh, no, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like the fact that Mueller, in his report, is alleging that someone who is innocent of a crime must prove their innocence. It doesn't feel right to her that you can't do that. That isn't being done to President Trump. And quite honestly, I don't care if it was President Trump or President Obama or President Clinton or anybody. or you in court. You don't have to prove you are innocent of a non-crime. That's not how the American system works. And if we allow that perversion to go forward, if we allow it to go forward in things like the red flag laws, due process of law disappears. And we become no different than banana republics all around the world, dictatorships in authoritarian countries. And that's not because of President Donald Trump. That's because of what the Democratic Socialists are looking for. And they're misrepresenting this to the public. If we move along this path, you will have to prove yourself innocent of not committing a crime. Just like you see with red flag legislation, because someone else decides that they don't like what you have done, and they will allege that you are guilty, even though no crime has been committed, and you will be punished. And when that happens, you're no longer free. Not in any sense of the words. I want to thank Representative Rattcliffe for making his comments today. I hope everyone takes that into account as they listen to the Mueller report, as we listen to the various Democrats, the progressives, the Democratic Socialists, as they come out and they make their comments about it. Because at the end of the day, no matter what happens in the obstruction of justice investigation by the House Judiciary Committee today, July 24th, we are always coming back, and we should, to the root of the situation, which is no American of any type, whether you've been elected or not, no American should be held to a standard that you must prove yourself innocent of not committing a crime. If that is the case, we all suffer, and we will all suffer significantly. But that is my opinion, that's my reading of it. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Please, let me hear your thoughts. Thanks a lot for checking us out. This is Michael Voss on No Soundbites Allowed. I hope you have a great day. I'm looking forward to your comments.